Chico Resch. You are listening to the Let's Go Devils podcast on the Primetime Radio Network.
Happy Devils Sunday. This is Game Day Live, coming to you live from the Primetime Radio Studios in the bunker in beautiful New Jersey, undisclosed location, and Chicago, Illinois, and American Whiskey at 51 Edison Place in Newark, New Jersey, across the street from Prudential Center. Hey, Peyton, we'll see you. Hi, how are you? As the Devils are taking on the red-hot Carolina Hurricanes today at Prudential Center. Vinnie, happy Devils New Year to you.
Happy New Year to you as well. It's very good to be here. A lot of interesting things going on with this Devils team right now, coming off a big win over the Pittsburgh Penguins on Friday. It was a lot of fun to watch. It was one of those games where, like, they kind of dealt with some trouble early, a little bit of controversy, adversity, and they found a way to get it done. You let a guy like Evgeny Malkin get on a breakaway, he's going to score more often than not, right? He's Evgeny Malkin. He's a top 20 player who ever lived. You need to be able to shut those kinds of things down from happening. They did as the game progressed. The power play was able to create a little bit. We got goals from Jack Hughes, Nico Hischier, and Dougie Hamilton, who are supposed to be the three best players on the team, and you're hoping to carry that kind of momentum into the new year. I'm pretty excited about it. Big matchup to start it off, too.
Yeah, and by the way, a little programming note and a little apology that I had told you, the fans, that we'd be at American Whiskey today. That was our full intention. However, somebody's banged up from the night before. So, in full transparency, I'm not doing well. And hey, Peyton and Alejandra, happy Devils New Year to you. Hello. Both Peyton and Alejandra are internet sensations here with the Let's Go Devils podcast, and also those at American Whiskey. Yes, it wasn't that we were going to start at 2:30 p.m. Eastern. We were going to start once the Giants were going to halftime, because the Giants game is actually, the New York Football Giants game is actually on the big screen, on the big Sony TV. So we didn't want to interrupt. We're not sure what we're going to do with Devils After Dark, but I was telling Vinnie before, and I'm probably going to get some boos. Nobody cares about the New York Football Jets, so maybe we'll just override that programming there at American Whiskey anyway. But the Giants are up 24-3. But let's get back to hockey. Devils beating Pittsburgh. The last game of 2022, the calendar year of 2022, one of my thoughts about the 9-for-9 penalty kill is, if the Devils and Coach McGill can actually get this team streaking where their penalty kill can be weaponized. Did you notice, Vinny, that the Devils kept the aggressive pace against the Penguins? Because it's like, oh, we got a stupid penalty. Really, the refs were really bad. Not a big deal. We'll just kill it off. Did you notice, like, how confident as the game was going? Like, okay, we got another penalty. Yeah, it was bad, but you know what? Not a big deal. We'll keep up with the aggressive play. We're going to get in their face. I mean, heck, one of the Penguins players got blood drawn in 4 minutes from Eric Hollett. Not a big deal. We'll go on the PK and take care of business.
Yeah, and Pittsburgh's penalty kill has been white hot over the month of December. It's been power play. Their power play has been white hot over the entire month of December. And when you have players like Sidney Crosby and Evgeny Malkin and Jake Gensel, that's going to be the case. The Devils found a way to kill 9 penalties. I was trying to think after watching the game on Friday, like, have I ever seen a game where the Devils played? Like, lately, obviously, there were games in the early 2000s, late 90s that were loaded with penalty minutes. That I'm talking like in modern times, post-lockout. Is there a 9-penalty game, and then the team kills off every single one? That's just absolutely unbelievable. The Devils outscored the Penguins on their man advantage. Nico Hischier scored the game-winning goal shorthanded. So the Devils were like, oh, you want to push us shorthanded? We'll be aggressive. We'll be hard on the forecheck. It'll be hard to, get inside the box if you're the Devils. And he sure took advantage of a play. He made a nice shot, and the Devils ended up winning the game. If they relinquished one power play goal to the Pittsburgh Penguins, the entire game might have been different. They literally needed 9 penalty kills in order to win. Damon Severson, 30 minutes of ice time. A lot of that having to do with the penalty kill. Didn't fully expect to say that at this point in the season, Damon Severson getting 30 minutes a game would be because of 9 penalties because of the Devils. Back in the day, Severson was like the power play guy, not the penalty kill guy. So, that's just really impressive. They've been without Graves and Marino because of injury, and we did get a little bit of breaking news right as the show was starting. Unexpectedly, Ryan Graves has been activated from injured reserve, and I believe he will play. So wasn't expecting that in the first day of 2023, but that'll help the penalty kill too, no doubt.
Yeah, and you know what? I thought it was a good sign that the Devils weren't saying too much about Ryan Graves, because it was one of those things, let him heal, let him take his time. And because normally if it was a horrific injury, it would have been well documented, well known, surgery scheduled for this date or whatever. But when the Devils didn't say anything, they just put him on IR retroactive when he got hurt. I didn't think it was such a bad thing. But if Ryan Graves is in the lineup, that is great news. And Damon Severson, again, he did the same thing last season when the Devils are really, when the injury bug hits, and Damon Severson last season took over for Dougie Hamilton on the power play, being on PP1. I actually thought Severson was actually more effective last season than Dougie Hamilton on the power play. And, Vinny, I think, honestly, I think right now, I think Severson's, got his confidence back, and I just hope he doesn't make any boneheaded plays from here on out, because I think that benching might be a blessing in disguise long term for the Devils.
Yeah, it might have helped them. He did try to make a play against the Penguins. I think Ken Danico literally called him out for it, saying he tried to make a home run play when he should have just made the easy one. But outside of that one little issue, they found a way to play well, and he played amazing. He was a huge part of their win. He wasn't one of the 3 stars because he didn't contribute any offense. But, it's going to be interesting to see how it goes today, especially with Graves is in. I'm seeing it right now. He is in, and Ahotuk is out. So Alexander Holtz will also be out in favor of Tice Thompson. Brother Tage just scored a magnificent goal yesterday. I don't know if you saw that. But, Graves, he's going to be in. That'll help the Devils. You got him, Severson, Hamilton, Siegenthaler. It's a pretty good top 4. And if you use Ball and Smith, that's not bad. And you'll add Marino again. I don't know. His will probably be a little bit longer than Graves. Graves really only missed a couple games, right? And so hopefully this is all good news as they come into this year hoping to get into the playoffs. I think that's important to make the playoffs this year. Nobody really thinks they're going to win the Stanley Cup, right? But can they be a team in the Eastern Conference that by the time when they get eliminated in the postseason, when they're in that handshake line, are we going to say they'll be back? Like, this team is on the rise. And I think they're proving that. All these guys are a big part of it. I'm excited. Good measuring stick game here again today against probably the best team in the Metropolitan Division.
Yeah, and it's going to be a battle. I'm telling you, I'm excited about the Metropolitan Division. The rivalries, because these were newly created divisions a few years ago. I thought they kind of had, the division that the Devils are in, kind of has a stupid name, I think, but Metropolitan, there's the Atlantic and there's whatever. But this division, is like, it's brutal. It's brutal. I mean, even when you play the Flyers, you still have to, even though they're on their downward swing in their organization right now, you still have to, fight them. You still have to play them. You can't just, you can't coast in this division. Because as soon as you do, you're going to easily lose. Is Peyton dancing?
Yeah.
Is Peyton dancing right now?
Yes.
Yeah.
The only team in the Metro that's like stinks is Columbus.
Yeah.
And every time Columbus plays the Devils, they're going to have a highly motivated Johnny Hockey.
Yep.
And love him or hate him, he's going to be highly motivated every single time he plays the Devils going forward. The
Yeah.
Flyers are always battle hard, and Tortorella's their coach. You know, you're going to get a high-end effort from that team. Pittsburgh's obviously Pittsburgh. I only say nice things about the Pittsburgh Penguins. The New York Rangers and New York Islanders are both kind of like in pesky mode right now. They're just kind of pesky. They're kind of like the annoying little gnat that's just always kind of floating around right now.
Yep.
And then, am I missing someone? But the Carolina Hurricanes, obviously, are, I would say, the cream of the crop in the division right now and could easily win the Stanley Cup. I mean, I look at their lineup, and I'm like, they got great defensemen. Brent Burns coming over is, you know, bringing all that offense that we expected from him. And then they have guys like Pesci and Slavin and guys like that. And you think about their forwards. Svechnikov is kind of having an off year by his standards. He's still really good and produces a fair amount, but he's kind of having an off year based on his standards. But they're getting it from Martin Necas, who's probably going to be their representative at the All-Star game maybe. And Sebastian Aho is legitimately one of the most underrated players in the NHL. They got good goaltending, and a little nugget that we got today was that Antti Ranta and Peter Kochetkov are a combined 9-0-1 in their careers against the Devils. I mean, it's a stacked division, and this team is the leader of it.
Yes, and they are. And Judy writes in the YouTube Live, Carolina will add Horvat or O'Reilly. But also...
Maybe.
Also, Mike Rossi says, now, Mike Rossi is a Devils fan, transplant, moved to Raleigh, North Carolina, and unfortunately for him, the game is blacked out for him. I don't know how that's possible if it's Carolina playing in your home.
It's definitely blacked out on ESPN Plus for him, but I would assume he'd be able to turn on local television and find it somewhere.
Something like that. Yeah. I don't know how that
really
works.
quick, I want to say something.
Yep.
You said it was Ramona Rice who said that about adding O'Reilly and Judy. That's actually a great. They could definitely use a center like that, but people forget this team that's at the top of the Metropolitan Division. They're going to get Max Pacioretty back. Like you're just going to add a 30 to 40 goal scorer in the middle of January. I know he's getting a little bit up there in his years. He's not, this young buck Max Pacioretty that was with the Montreal Canadiens or even the Vegas Golden Knights. But, excuse me, he's still going to be a really good player when he comes to the team. He knows how to shoot. You don't forget how to shoot. Just look at Ovechkin. But, it's a good team, and they're probably going to add a little bit, I would think.
Yeah, Vinny, and let me help you out here. Hold on one sec. Yeah, I think we're both banged up from last night. Anyway, here, let me help you out here. So I'm just gonna go solo, and Vinny can clear out his throat or something like that. I don't know. I don't know if he needed me or not. But hey, Peyton, how are you? And see, they can hear us at American Whiskey. Love that place. I miss that place. Couldn't get myself to get to that place today, but that doesn't mean I don't love American whiskey. Just couldn't get there in time. And Steve Tardis won the tickets from JCB Architectural, and is going to this game. Hey, what's going on? Is it Dennis? Is that your name? Is that Dennis? That's Dennis. Okay, I don't know. I'm bad with names. All I know is Peyton, Alejandra, Dennis, Mariah, Frank the Tank. Oh, by the way, big news. Just want to let everybody know, Frank the Tank, the owner of American Whiskey, or managing partner, his son is playing tomorrow. He plays for, it's escaping my head. But he's the kicker of hold on a second, I got it here somewhere, of Tulane Green Wave, Tulane. You know that school, Tulane?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Frank the Tank's son is the starting kicker of Tulane football. He was the kicker of Rutgers, went through the transfer portal, and is now playing in a bowl game. I believe it's the Cotton Bowl. If I'm not, is it the Cotton Bowl? I have to look this up. The only team I really follow is Penn State football. They're in the Rose Bowl tomorrow. But I just wanted to just give a shout out to Frank the Tank.
That's
And
outstanding.
his son. Yeah, I mean, who knows, Vinny? We might be friends of a friend of a friend of a future famous person that's going to kick a football in the NFL one day. You never know. You never know.
Yeah, he could come kick. He could come kick in the NFL. That'd be awesome. Wow, I did not know that. That's really cool. Tulane. Yeah, hopefully they get the bowl win and he kicks the game-winning field goal.
I got to correct something. Dave Singer says the Frank the Tank from Barstool. No, not him. Our Frank the Tank from American Whiskey. Anyway, let's see here and reading all these comments. Anyway, hold on a sec. It's hard to do this podcast when you've got comments all around. Anyway, Dave Singer says, cool, makes more sense. Yeah, there's a lot of Frank the Tanks out there, but our Frank the Tank happens to be Frank, managing partner and owner extraordinaire at American Whiskey. Just wanted to point that out there.
Yeah, and the thought of the Frank the Tank he was referring to having children is honestly pretty funny.
Yeah, that Frank the Tank, if he can produce an all-American football kicker at a Division I school, then wow. I don't think that Frank the Tank. I think that Frank the Tank may produce a future goaltender based on the kind of size pads he would have to wear. Anyway,
that's fair.
Yeah.
That's very fair. Good luck to him, though. That's awesome.
Yeah. What's his name? I have it here. His name is Valentino. That's his name. Valentino.
Okay.
Valentino cool. Ambroso. I think that's how you pronounce it. We mutilate last names here on the podcast. So I'll be cheering for him since he's not playing Penn State. But other than that, yeah. By the way, Vinny,
I get that.
I know we're getting off topic here, but hey, it's New Year's Day. But I read your comment on Twitter about the Big Ten and the SEC, and I just want to rebut a little bit. Michigan should have won that game. I think the refs did hose them on that call. That was a football play, and I think they were overthinking that. And this is a homer Penn State fan that is actually saying Michigan should have won the game. They got screwed. And in terms of Ohio State, look, they're not known for their field goal kickers. That was the difference of the game.
It really, really was. I like getting a rise out of the Midwest folks that follow me, though. So the Big Ten tweets sometimes. But you know what? I haven't ever had a reason to cheer against the Big Ten. Listen, the Big Ten commissioner is probably going to be the president of the Chicago Bears, my favorite team. But I do think it's funny. You send two teams to the college football playoff, and they both lose. And I know that was a touchdown for Michigan, too.
Yeah, I mean, kind of like, if you think about it, in kind of BS fashion, too. You know what I mean? It wasn't like, and you look at Penn State, the only two losses they had were against these two teams, both Michigan and Ohio State. And both teams, they actually had the lead in the third quarter. Late in the third quarter.
No, they did.
The Big Ten is just brutal. I just think that sometimes the SEC, some of these teams, I think they're a little overhyped. But if you're in the Big Ten East division, you've got to go through hell just to even get to a bowl game. Every game's a bowl game, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, no, you're totally right. And they play each other in the last week of the season every year, and it's just fun. I don't think the world is ready for them to play in the national championship yet, though. I will say that.
Yeah. Well, you know what? For me, in Penn State, because Judy's she talks about Penn State. I'm assuming Judy's from Pennsylvania. That they have such a young freshman, sophomore type team. They're close knit, and now that Sean Clifford will finally graduate and get out of there, that Drew Allard, who's going to be a sophomore quarterback next season, I think Penn State probably not next season, but the season after could really contend for the national championship. Just based on the recruiting and just based on everything, it's just a matter of execution on the coaching staff to get them there.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm rooting for it. That'd be fun.
Yeah. Anyway, we got off topic here on Game Day Live, but let's get to the Sunday predictions. We forgot. Who's sponsoring the Sunday predictions? Somebody do something on the Super Chat. We forgot about that. We no longer have a sponsor on our predictions.
Yeah, well, somebody needs to go in there and take care of that. Come sponsor our predictions. I'm going to go – this is hard. I actually haven't really thought about it. I'm going to go – I think the New Jersey Devils are going to end the 10-game winning streak that the Carolina Hurricanes are currently on, because then if they don't, they're only 2 away from breaking their streak total from this season, and I think the Devils players probably want to pride themselves on having the longest streak in the NHL this season, and there's no better way to make sure that Carolina doesn't break it by ending it yourselves. So I'm going to say the Devils win this game by a final score of 3-2.
All right. Well, congratulations. Dave Singer is sponsoring this segment. He did a super chat and a $4.99, and it is now called the DaveStamp.app Victory Bucks. Now it's been renamed. Presented by Dave Singer. Sing your way to victory. All right. So I'm thinking that we're going to be singing victory songs at American Whiskey. Peyton and Alejandra and the rest and Dennis, they're going to be serving up victory drinks. Make sure you tip your bartenders as well. Dave Singer says 4-1 Devils. I'm going to go with Dave Singer's prediction. 4-1 Devils. Devils are confident. The Carolina Hurricanes were probably banged up from the night before partying, and I think the Devils will pull this one out from the home crowd as well. So, but thank you, Dave Singer, the DaveStamp.app Victory Bucks. Dave Singer, a very generous fan of the Let's Go Devils podcast. Thank you. Our first sponsor in 2023.
That's outstanding. Thank you to him. Keep him coming.
Yeah, keep it coming. All right, I want to thank all those at American Whiskey, those at YouTube Live, those at Twitter Live, those at Twitch and Facebook Live. Thank you. We'll be back after the game. American Whiskey will be on the Jumbotron, hopefully, for Devils After Dark. Scotty at SiriusXM, Liquid Metal, and I will recap the game that was. So enjoy the game, everybody. It's 2023, new slate. And do you have any New Year's resolutions that you want to share with us, Vinny, before we go?
Yes. Every year I believe you can find a way to be healthier and happier and improve yourself, and that's always my goal. It really isn't a New Year's resolution. It's just always kind of like an every week resolution. Every week's a new week, and do your best to be your best.
Yeah, mine is really not to be mad all the time. When you get cut off by a New Yorker on the highway, or when things don't go your way with the Devils or what now, I just want to gato and chill my way in 2023. That's all.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah. We see some fans. I don't know what they're doing, but all right. We could do the same thing too. They're getting victorious. Hey, we see everything that goes on. Come back after the game. American Whiskey. Hit the music, Vinnie. And, again, Devils After Dark after the game. Thanking all those. Thank you, Dave Singer and the Victory Bucks. Oh, yeah, by the way, when Dave Singer sponsors this podcast, Devils win. Just remember that. Keep it here. Keep it real. See you after the game. Till next time, let's go Devils.